In this video, I'm going to be talking about vaginal tearing during childbirth, particularly how to avoid vaginal tearing if at all possible. Vaginal tears are also called perineal lacerations, and we're going to talk about all of that right now. But first, welcome to Dianainthepink. My name is Diana. I'm a physician assistant specializing in women's health and gynecology. If you're new here, In the Pink means in good health and spirit. So if you like being healthy and happy, make sure to click subscribe because you are in the right place. Now, before I get started, I love to hear from you. I love reading about where you are in your pregnancy. Is this your first? Are you having a boy or a girl? Where you're coming from? Comment down below. Probably my favorite part about making all of these videos are reading your comments. Now, I've wanted to cover this topic for a while, as many of you have been watching my week-by-week pregnancy series. And if you're new here, make sure to check that out. I'm going to link to that right here. But as you are getting close to your due date, you start to think about the delivery itself. What it's going to be like, maybe if this is your first pregnancy and you've heard stories of other moms having really bad tears, or maybe this is not your first pregnancy and maybe you had a bad tear with a previous pregnancy and you don't want the same thing to happen again. I totally get it. It's cause for a lot of anxiety and worry for moms to be as they are getting closer and closer to their due date. But know this, even if you do have tears, remember, first, your vagina knows how to give birth. It can stretch up to 3 to 4 times its normal size in order to accommodate the baby coming through. I mean, it's almost like your vagina was built for this. Number 2, the vaginal tissue heals remarkably quickly and well. It's a highly vascular area, meaning that there are a lot of blood vessels in the area to help for quick healing. And number 3, trust your OB or midwife. You've picked them out and have been seeing them through your pregnancy. They know what they're doing and how to properly sew you up after the baby is born. Trust them and trust their skills. All the same, no, it's your vagina. And an ounce of prevention is better than a pound of cure. So if you can prevent the tearing from happening in the first place, all the better. And I'm with you on that 100%. So we're gonna talk about how you're gonna do this. But I think before we do, I wanna talk about the tears in general and a little bit of the anatomy down there so you can understand better how to prevent the tears. So first off, where do the tears happen? I think most people understand that it's a tear down there when the baby comes out, but aren't too sure of where exactly the tears are. Are they on the inside, on the outside? Like where is the tear? So let's take a second to have a quick female anatomy lesson so you have a better understanding about where this usually happens. So we have the vagina. This is where the baby will be coming out unless you have a C-section. You have your rectum where poop comes out, and then you have this little area in between. This is called the perineum. And if you tear, this is usually where it happens. You can also have a labial tear. This is where the tear occurs from the side of your vagina into your vulva. This happened to me, and we're gonna talk about that in a little bit as well. So there are 4 main types of tears. You have type 1 and 2. These are smaller tears. Type 1 is just like a little tiny tear in the perineal skin, which is, like I said, the skin between the vaginal opening and the rectum. Many times it's so small that it doesn't need stitches and it heals on its own within a few weeks. Type 2 is the most common perineal tear. It's a little bit deeper and extending into some of the muscles of the perineum. Type 2 tears will need stitches and usually heal, again, within just a few weeks. Now, type 3 and type 4 are the most severe types of tears. These are really the ones that we want to try to avoid. Type 3 extends into some of the musculature of the anus, and then type 4 usually affects the muscles around the anus and the mucosa of the anus. These repairs are a little bit more complicated. They may need to be repaired in the operating room, and they definitely take longer to heal. You can also have labial lacerations, as I mentioned earlier. This is where the skin or the soft tissue of the vulva, so like the labia majora, labia minora, or even the clitoris, tears. Depending on the severity, your OB will most likely stitch those up, and they usually heal really well too. So of course, none of that sounds pleasant, and we certainly don't want to have a perineal tear, but it often is a part of childbirth. Still, if there are ways we can prevent it from happening, or at least preventing the 3rd and the 4th degree tears, many of you, like I, would want to try to do what we can. And there are also factors that can increase your chances of tearing that you can't do anything about. For example, if your baby has a big head, or if you deliver really fast, or if it's your first time delivering a baby vaginally, or if they have to use forceps to deliver your baby. All of that you really can't control. If your baby's gonna have a big head, then they're gonna have a big head, but there are things you can do. Let's talk about what you can do in the weeks leading up to delivery. Perineal massage is something that many women choose to do starting somewhere around the latter half of your third trimester. So 34, 35, 36 weeks, right around there. Talk to your OB first to make sure that they are okay with you doing this. Now, have you ever had a goal to do the splits when you were younger, and every day you stretch your legs and your groin muscles a little bit at a time, and then those muscles become more flexible? This is kind of what a perineal massage does. You're basically pushing down on the vaginal opening on the bottom between the anus and the vagina, and you move back and forth downwards to try to gently get those muscles and tissue used to stretching more. Now, most likely in the third trimester, you aren't really going to be able to reach that area, so it's usually something that will fall upon your spouse or your partner to help. Awkward? It's going to depend on how you approach it. You can try using it as part of foreplay before sex. Many couples find that approach a little bit more comfortable, but you don't have to do that either. You can just have it be part of your nighttime routine along with brushing your teeth, taking a shower. Honestly, whatever is comfortable for you and your partner or spouse. But if you aren't comfortable having your partner do that, or if you don't have anyone to help you, you can buy perineal massagers that can help you to reach. And I will link to that in the video description down below. Now, when you are in stage 2 of labor, which is when you are fully dilated and you're pushing, there are a few things that might help at this point as well. Perineal massage again during this time might help. The other thing you can talk to your OB about is warm compresses to the perineum. There are good studies that show that applying warm compresses to the perineum can help prevent 3rd and 4th degree tears, which is really the goal. It probably doesn't help with 1st or 2nd degree tears, but that's okay. Those are definitely easier to manage. Now, the perineal massages and warm compresses are something that your labor and delivery team can help you with, but there are some things that you can be aware of when you are pushing that could possibly help you as well. So your body is amazing as it helps you to know what to do when you're delivering your baby. So have any of you ever heard of the phrase ring of fire? Give this video a thumbs up if you have. This is when the baby is crowning and your vaginal opening is stretching open as the baby's head is coming out, and it's kind of a sharp burning sensation around where the baby's head is. Now, if you don't have an epidural, you're going to be more likely to feel this. I fell into a burning ring of fire. And I used to think that this would be an awful thing that happens before the baby comes, but it's actually one of the ways that our body helps communicate to us on what to do. So when you feel that sensation, just like when you feel any strong pain, we breathe in, pull back, kind of suck in. That's a natural reaction. And in doing that, that sort of stalls the pushing and allows the perineum and the vaginal opening around the baby's head to have some time to stretch a little bit. You can also focus on more slowed and gradual pushing rather than sharp, sudden, abrupt pushes like the kind that you see in the movies. Pushing the baby out more slowly and gently allows the tissue to have more time to stretch open to let the baby come down. Now, the best visual I could come up with was this. My daughter is obsessed with slime, and she likes to point out that the slime changes depending on how she stretches it, and she's totally right. It's kind of like our vaginal tissue. If I pull on it slowly, it stretches out. See that? But if I pull on it suddenly, it breaks. And that is not what we want our vagina to be doing. You can also talk to your OB about the possibility of delayed pushing. This means that you're fully dilated, but you wait a little before pushing until whatever part of the baby that is presenting is further down in the birth canal. This isn't always an option depending on how the delivery is going, but if everything looks good with both you and the baby, it might be something that you and your OB can do. Lastly, we should talk about your position when you're delivering. There are some studies that show that rather than laying down flat, certain positions like sitting up more can open up the pelvis a little bit more, allowing for an easier delivery. But whether or not it helps to prevent 3rd or 4th degree tearing, it's a little unclear. So your position of comfort might end up being the priority for you, but it's still something to consider. Finally, make sure that you have a conversation with your OB or midwife before you deliver. Talk to them about what your plans are during the delivery so that they will know if you want them to be doing perineal massages and warm compresses. Also ask them if they have any other advice for you for your delivery. Now, if you liked this video, you can let me know by hitting the thumbs up, and hey, hit the subscribe button while you're at it. And if you want more content like this, I've made another video on how to know if you are in labor. I will put that right here. And I've also also made a whole series on pregnancy, walking you through pregnancy week by week, and I will put that right here. Click on either one of those and I will see you over there.